Moto One Podcast Network. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 362 of Creative Writing. If you add those together, I think it's 11. I'm not good at math, but I hope you are, because Creative Writing is celebrating 10 years this year, and we want you to be part of that celebration. Can you count to 10? Are you 10 years old yourself? We're going to have a lot of fun starting in this episode. I promise. We'll see if it can wheelie.
See if this will do a wheelie.
I just said we're going to see.
The views and opinions of the participants of the Creative Writing Motorcycle Podcast are those of the participants and do not reflect the policy, position, or opinions of the Creative Writing Moto One Podcast Network or any of their affiliates. Moto One made us say that, by the way. Enjoy the show.
That's my bro.
Okay. Thank you, Tobor. I was wondering, welcome. We are here in the studios, in the Burbank studios. I've got lovely Tobor with me. This is episode 362, and I am so excited, y'all, because this year we are celebrating 10 years of creative writing. Yes, we started in May of 2015, believe it or not. And even though I don't think we had stuff up and running until June, and we recorded recorded the first 3 episodes, and then released them. What I would call analysis paralysis. Oh, is it good enough to release? Like there's no other motorcycle podcasts out there right now. There's like maybe 20 at the time when we released our first one, and so we are excited to be celebrating 10 years. And all this and that. Before we get into the show, Tobor, I heard you there. Thank you. Let's do one more mic check. Because I wasn't sure you're plugged in, and you sound like you're good.
Check 1, check mix, checkerboard.
Tobor, you're getting as cheesy as my dad jokes. And over here, you are a new face in the studio. Tobor, who the hell's next to you? Yeah, that guy.
That's my bro.
That's what you just said a minute ago. Who are you, sir?
My name is Tobor Weeders. I'm a gay robot from the robot park in your town.
The robot park in our town.
Yes, the gay robot park in your town.
I didn't even know our town had a gay robot park.
Yes, there are 2, actually.
Bro. All right, well, I guess we're starting off this episode with the gay robot and Tobor, his bro. Tobor, we'll talk after the show. I don't know if we're supposed to have more than one robot in here because of the things you're already causing, the problems that you already caused by yourself here in the Glendale studios, amongst other things. And having said that, I would like to say thank you, Showmore. Showmore, yes, you can wait in the lobby. You can just hang out quietly there if you're going to be quiet all night. I don't mind. But yeah, I did want to say that we have been celebrating 15 years. Come on, Tobor. For real? That's what you think of the 15 hard years that we've been putting into this show. And by 15 hard years, it feels like hard labor sometimes. But yeah, we've been putting 15, I say. It's only been 10, you idiot. You got me to lie. I did want to say that we've been blabbing more on Nakamoto's Discord than we have on our own. So little engagement on my Discord, and that's my bad. That's on me. I'm gonna take responsibility for that. But we've been chatting and having a lot of fun over on Nakamoto's general, I believe, Discord. If you want to go over there and see all the fun stuff they talk about. There's a lot, everybody that I wish was on mine is over on theirs. And also I wanted to start the show off with saying 10 years is a long time. Lots of emails. Every single day I had no less than like 100 and I don't know. I finally got my email down to like 100 unreads, and I went back and started looking at it, and I was like, you know what? Like all the way up until right after a couple of years after COVID, 2020 was a hard year. I got to say, 5 years in, we were getting some massive growth, more growth than we've had ever. And then all of a sudden COVID hits and everybody's doing other things. Everybody in the world starts their own podcast. You know, some people quit writing. Other people, you know, like I said, everybody starts their own podcast, and now there's 500 motorcycle podcasts out there, and I can't say enough about the ones that exist now. I really miss some of the ones that were around and used to exist back then. Such camaraderie, and nowadays I feel like just like everything else in this world, I feel like everybody's scattered and kind of off in their own little bubble, trying to get their own little piece of the pie. And so I really do miss the Motorcycle Podcasters Challenge. And I started to think about some of the things that I really miss about creative writing even. And I started to go back and I said, you know what's in this inbox? It's a bunch of marketing. It's a bunch of people that want to sell their stuff or come on their show and sling their product. About a handful of them I'm down with even. Everybody else is just, wants to do this, wants to do that, wants to sell something. Hardly any of them are in it for the motorcycle riders. And I started to go back and I cleared out about 5 years of emails this week in prep for, starting to get ready for the 10 years anniversary show. And it made me realize that I have lost touch with some of the people that we used to really jive with every week. And that includes people like I got this whole slew of emails from the Wisconsin crew who used to race up at the Great Lakes Dragaway and Wisconsin International Raceway. And I still follow Chris Singsheim. I watch his videos almost every day. Once in a while, every few months we text each other to see what's going on and what's happening. But everybody else it seems like that was such a huge part of our show, and we moved away from it. And then I read this letter from a guy named, I think his name was Patrick. I won't say his last name. Or maybe his name was Jonathan. Yeah, I think his name was Jonathan. And I won't say his last name, but he really nailed it. He was like, you know what? This show used to have very informative informative stuff on the channel, and you guys would always have history and things like that. And that stuff takes a lot of work, and it was fun. And we had co-hosts over the years. It was me by myself for quite a while. I started building Tobor to help out and automate stuff. Now AI is all over, and that's another thing I can't stand is just how much AI is in this world. And Pete from Nakamoto and I talk about it all the time. AI is disgusting. I can't even watch YouTube for 5 seconds without getting hit by the AI ads, the AI voiceovers, like all of it. But yeah, this guy, Jonathan, to come back full circle, I used to have like a lot of fun stuff. And I built Tobor, and he really didn't like Tobor. Thought the idea of a robot was stupid.
Please send me his coordinates.
Access granted.
Tobor, did you just arm something? I guess it's none of my business, but he did have a point, buddy. Like it got a little ridiculous, and we've had great co-hosts on and off, and it's been a wonderful 10 years. And I really do. I feel like we used to do games. We used to do a lot of analysis. At one point we had the news. It's hard to do this stuff when there's nobody. How fun are games if it's just me and then I'm talking to you and I can't tell what you're saying back to me? You know what I'm saying? So it's required that we have some more people and some more co-hosts. So I'm really excited. I went back through, like I said, 10 years of emails and deleted 5 years of those. And so I went all the way back to my very first GoDaddy and signing up for our audio hosting and things like that. And I was like, wow, this is truly the beginning right here. And I went forward from there. And the very first emails was from Paul Smith and, like I said, Chris Singside, Rob Thornton, and Matt, My Motorbike Obsessions. And then there's a bunch of stuff from the Loud Pipes guys and Ted from Motorcycle Men when we used to do the Motorcycle Podcasters Challenge and all that stuff. So just going back to the very beginning, and then it just blossomed into everything that creative writing became. So I'm really excited. 10 years has flown by, and I'm really excited to see what we got coming forward. I know it's all garbage because Tobor is helping me. Yeah, you're helping me do everything. So I know that it's 100% garbage. What do you quit messing with the soundboard? You're worse than the interns that we can't afford to hire. And having said that, I did want to say that we are now also on YouTube, along with AI and everything else, they are pushing for us to go to YouTube, and so we're there. We're not using AI. All that stuff is animated painstakingly. Have to re-listen to the show 85 times. Takes about 7 hours to animate 20 minutes of the show. So it's awesome. So, and if that's why the animations come out a little bit later than the show, then that's what it is. But we draw all of our artwork. We create it all. We create some of the episode artwork, all the artwork that gets sent out to the patrons via sticker form or via, whatever. Sometimes, what did I have before? Like Christmas cards, things like that. I will show you on Patreon, and sometimes I'll post it to our Instagram or Facebook. You can see us drawing that. So we're zero AI. So yeah, we're really old school in that way. And I hope we continue to grow. Ever since we've had a YouTube, I know Moto1, the president, was pushing for YouTube super hard. I know the Nakamoto guys have had great success. I think they've had a 3-time uptick in views or something like that, or exposure to the podcast. Ours actually went down. Now that people can see us on YouTube, they're disgusted and they quit watching even more. So hopefully, I don't know, it hurt us more than helped us, but we're still going to do it, and we'll see how things progress from there. But yeah, enough blabbing about the show. What we got in store for you on this week's episode is, as usual, we got a word of the week. We got some highs and lows. We got some events that are coming up. I'm going to do what's looking creative to me. And we just had some great events happen. We got some coming up, and I want to talk about it. And then I kind of wanted to talk about some things that's happening right now. Speaking of 10 years and 10 years ago, I want to talk about some current stuff that's happening right now, and where we were 10 years ago, and what we're doing today. Is it any better? I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to do that next. Let's do a little quick stinger here. Let me get a sip of this delicious Easy Rider beer, and I'll be right back in your eardrums in about 2 seconds.
It looks like the human has abandoned his post, Tobor. Why don't you come over here and introduce show more wieners?
Tobor, take a bite of rare ham.
Oh my.
All right, everybody, we are back. Ooh, what the hell? Looks like there's assembly lube all over the desk. What the hell? What the hell's going on? Anyways, let's get into this week's show. I wanted to start off with the word of the week this week, and Tobor. Ew, Tobor, what's wrong with you? Gross. What happened? I don't want to know. Just get ready with the sound effect. We're going to do the word of the week right now. Are you good? All right. The word of the week this week is railroad. And you have to say it like that. Railroad. The word of the week this week is railroad, and that means nothing else than railroad. It could be talking about railroading somebody, trying to make them do what you want to do. Or it could be, riding on the old railroad, whatever it is. Just make it official, Tobor. Before I barf on you. Ew, what a gross sound effect to make it official even. Ugh. Well, if I say the word of the week this week, email the show, hit us up on social media, at Facebook, Instagram, gobbledygook, goblins for goblins, whatever it is. And actually, Tobar, I just noticed that we're going to have to cut the time short. They have this on, they're going to reboot the studio. So we better hurry. 16 minutes? We ain't going to make it, dude. We better put the pedal to the metal. Why would I use car analogies on a motorcycle show? We need to twist the throttle and dump the clutch, dude. We need to throw the lever away. You know what I'm saying? We need to gap the field. That was terrible. Anyways, before it gets even more terrible and they reboot the studio right in the middle of recording all this, I would like to say that if I do say the word the word of the week, hit us up. And I still think that we owe Johnny Roundtree something for the farts. Sorry, we had an intern knocking on the door. Yeah, we had John. I think we owe Johnny Roundtree like some stickers or something for describing what motorcycle was like his fart. He's like the only one that responded to that. Also, speaking of stickers, I walked into our old postman, our old post keeper here at the old studios here in the Glendale Burbank area, and guess what I found tucked between the Red Bull refrigerator and I wouldn't even say the trash can. It's like the box of stuff that's supposed to get recycled or shredded that can't go in the trash, but that's been accumulating for 26 years. I can go in there and look at old like Lakers receipts for how much they paid Willie Bone Feet or whatever the hell the Lakers announcer was in here. Like there's receipts going back to probably like the mid 80s in this thing. And that's where our mail was. Why was our mail down there? Well, it turns out with these layoffs that everybody's been doing recently, they laid off old Jim Handybone. He was our, if you ever got a letter addressed from James or Jim, or it said, care of Jim, or you sent mail to us and it was care of Jim, he was our postman guy here. I wouldn't call him postmaster. I think it's actually official government title, which is probably no longer official anyways either. But yeah, he got laid off and I didn't know for like 3 weeks. So my apologies to all of our Patreon supporters who I said, I'm going to get your stickers out. I did. I got them enveloped. I just did not get them, out because I didn't know that he was laid off. And I guess they weren't going to tell anybody. There's so much mail here. I don't know how we, I don't know how we still are in business at the studios right here because basically just because I don't know who was sending the was the president? Tobor is shaking his head. I guess the president was actually walking the bills down on one of his random town walkabouts down to the electric company and paying bills, responding. Really? The president was doing that sort of stuff? Barely get that guy to even put on new coffee. Anyways, so long story short, we did get the stickers out to our patrons finally. Thank you so much. And if you moved, by the way, if you're on Patreon and you moved, like I know one of our guys, Jay, he came over here from the UK. Perfect timing. He's enjoying the weather in Austin. I can tell you that that's a lot different from the UK, no matter where you're at in the UK. I 100% guarantee that in about 3 weeks, you're going to wish you had never flown to Texas. However, Jay, I know your address was different, so I actually reached out to you because I think we got some mail back. So whoever, if I did get something out to you and you didn't get it yet and you're a patron supporter, the reason you didn't get it is because the address we have for you on our Patreon page is oldie. A lot of people moving around the last couple of years and not updating stuff. So, yeah. So if you didn't get something, reach out to me, let me know, and we'll get you something. And that means somebody else at your old house got something cool. Let's see. What else is new? Highs and lows. Now that we got the word of the week out of the way, let's get into a part of the show that I love to call Highs and Lows. I wish I had a stinger for highs and lows. I should make one. I'm the one that makes everything around here anyways, without the use of AI, proudly. That's why it takes 4.5 years. So highs and lows. What are my highs and lows? Well, also this is Junkie from the future. So my highs and lows may be slightly different than they were a couple days ago. And after listening back to this, I totally remembered something. And I might have to cut it out of here later. And I might not go back in and cut it out because that's how editing sometimes works. But my highs, and I totally forgot about this, is we've been having beautiful, beautiful weather here. And I know I went back later and said, wait, what am I talking about? It's been raining. But I just talked to my landlord today, and we were chatting about riding, and we both love the rain in SoCal. It makes the dirt tacky. It keeps the dust down. It makes it cool. when it's sometime, in May, when sometimes it can be 700 degrees this time of year, it keeps it very nice. So I've been loving the weather. I think I talked about this later too. I hope I can find this and edit it out so it doesn't say it twice in this episode. But I got to ride the Rivids. Went to Steady Garage's Friday kickback right before the SoCal Super Sunday ride happened. And the Rivids was pretty dang fun. Got to ride the Anthem and the Outset. And got to talk to the guys at Rivid about the battery tech and all the fun jazz in there. After I rode around a bit, sorry, I got a dog in the studio right now. I don't know what it's doing. Tobor, did you let a random street dog in? It's trying to eat something. Okay, maybe I might have to pause and make sure it's not trying to eat a bag of extension cords. As we all know from Christopher Walken, that's what dogs like to eat. All right, I'm back. I checked on the dog. I don't think it's eating random extension cords, but it better not eat any expensive office microphone cords or anything either. Where was I? Oh, the Rivids. So first of all, I thought it was Rivid, and I kept saying Rivid. Turns out it's Rivid. And we talked. This is the bike. If you don't remember, this is the motorcycle that has the detachable battery with wheels on it that you can ride around. And the dude that was showing it off to me, of course, they get when anybody's trying to sell anything motorcycle, they get motorcycle people to show it off to you. So of course, the person that was demoing it used to ride, rides, has a bunch of gas bikes. Doesn't want you to feel like if you like petrol, you're a loser. I still love my gas bikes too, brother. So we talked about that. I even eventually got old, hefty Chris Wiggins onto Tobor, will you go make sure that dog does not go into the other sound booth over there? I don't want them knocking over those really expensive mics that they don't let us use. All right, thank you. Anyways, so the Rivids, they're the guy that was demoing it was able to basically take the battery in and out in just a few minutes. And I said, for me, how long is this going to take? It's like 20 minutes. He said, I can do it in about 5. But, when you first do it, it takes you about 20. The thing rolls around, so you can take it up to your apartment and charge it in and not worry about theft. What's a good Rivid without the battery? Nobody's going to go steal half of electric motorcycle and then go buy a replacement battery later, right? So those are the Rivids. Those are the ones that has those detachable batteries. And the great thing that he was saying about that right now is that they have actually outsold Zero and Livewire, which doesn't take a whole lot to do these days. And that the battery tech, since it is removable, when things become upgradable, like when battery density becomes, more dense, you can actually replace the battery with something that has been upgraded and it will fit, will be retroactively fittable into that battery slot. Now, the Outsets that we rode had fixed batteries, so they did not have the same type of battery pack that the Anthem had, and I actually preferred the look of those better. And they were kind of like little. They had a dirt bike look, but they were on street tires, so I guess you could say they were supermotos. And one had like mini moto wheels. That was my favorite one. The other one was pretty fun too. I'm not going to say I broke the law, but I will say that I got 0 to 60 pretty quickly. And it was nice that there was no traffic. And it was nice that it was in our town. So I knew where we could ride. So it was really great. And so I knew where I could go to kind of rip this thing up and down the street. And I told the guys, I said, hey, I live like a block from here, or not a block, I live like 10 minutes from here. And a country block, I guess. And I said, this street where you're doing the test rides is great and all, but I really want to be able to just like ride it and see how the brakes work and see how the acceleration is. So they said, yeah, since you live around here, man, feel free. We didn't know where to tell people to go that are not from around here. So I said, yeah, cool. So I ripped it, and me and Wiggins went on a little group ride together, a group of 2, and we ripped it together, and he said it was pretty fun. We tried to stoppie. It wouldn't let us stoppie. I don't know if it has ABS on it. Try to wheelie. It would let you wheelie. So I don't know if there's an IMU on it, but I got to say, either way, it was really, really, really fun. And I did not want to get pulled over because the Outset didn't have mirrors on it. And so I was like, the last thing I need to do is wheelies down the street on an e-bike that's not mine that I'm demoing, and especially in this city, because, they're cracking down on electric bikes here in SoCal. So it probably would have looked like I was riding something that wasn't street legal. The great thing is they are street legal. Brake lights, horns, turn signals, mirrors, which mine didn't have on it though. But 100% street legal. So that was my highs. My lows was the rain that we got. And I believe I said that again. And actually, I don't know. I think I said some other lows. So I'm going to edit in my other lows here. But why don't you tell me your highs real quick? I'm going to put on like a smooth jazz song in the background. And you go ahead and tell me what your highs are real quick before I go back into my lows. Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds awesome. I am super glad that was your high. I want to look for what I said my low was now from our old editing, our old session. Slap that in here because I'm sick of remaking stuff up again. We'll be right back. I'm gonna find this spot. My lows. Tobor, I really wish we had like a sound effect for lows, like boop for high and boop for low, something like that. Can we arrange that? Yeah, it doesn't have to be right now. Yeah, we could do it next show. So my lows is the weather that I just completely lied about a few minutes ago. It has been raining for about 5 days straight here, at least in LA. And I know a lot of SoCal has been made gray, man. And it's great. We need it. I love it. I really like rainy weather. And it's part of the reason why I was able to come out here and do stuff. They canceled. Did they cancel our practice Monday? No, I think we practiced Monday, even though it had rained Sunday, like Saturday night and Sunday, and it even rained Monday, but it just drizzled a little bit and was like a little misty. So Monday night it cleared up and we did some baseball practice, and we just couldn't use part of the field that looked like a mud pit, that you see out at the old, King of the Hammers or whatever. And then it started raining again the next couple of days, and it's still raining. Today is what is today? Today is Wednesday, and it rained this morning, and then just this afternoon, beautiful. It was like 70 something, perfect bikini weather. I could not believe that. That's 70 is kind of cold for bikini weather, California, but you get what I'm saying. It was just such a beautiful day. We got 3.5 feet of sunshine, and I feel bad because I know some people who live in Colorado that are getting dumped on, and back east that are getting dumped on. So yeah, it's beautiful. So that's my highs and my lows. My lows was, I guess, the weather, and just the fact that I realized I shouldn't let that hold me back. All right, and if you like this song, it's called Bustin' Blues by me. I think one of my other goals for this year is to put out an album of podcast songs that I've made. And I think I should do that. What do you think? Oh, f*** you. I'm going to do what I want. All right. Well, it is time. I better turn myself back up here just a little tad bit so you can hear me. It is time to get into events. Like I said, we gotta twist the throttle on this baby. How many minutes till shutdown, Tobor? Really? They're gonna shut it down? Okay. This is a real deal, folks. I am not faking this for the show. They're gonna shut down the studio and reboot it. I guess they gotta reset a bunch of stuff, clocks and internet connections and all that fun jazz, the networks. So listen, what's going on in creative writing events calendar? Let me pop on over to our page, creative-writing tobor.com on the Inner Nerds and tell you what's happening. Excuse me. We have got coming up. Listen, I just wanted to say, I super hope that that the Anza Borrego Desert Run was really fun a couple weekends ago that the moped guys from North Park did. I hope Babes in the Desert, Babes in the Dirt, Babes in Borrego, I think that's what it's called. Hope Babes in Borrego was really fun, and for everybody that came out, that's awesome. And then I really hope that everybody at the one show had a lot of fun. That looked like it. There's a lot of good looking bikes from up there on the Nerds this weekend. So what's happening? Oh yeah, and then there was also the reunion car and motorcycle show at the Valley Relics Museum in Lake Balboa. I did not get to go to that, but I wonder if it was any good. And I hope you a-holes remember that this is Mother's Day coming up, dog. I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to do you a solid. That's the first event we're going to talk about right now. Go out and get something. At least get some flowers and treat your lady to a go downtown, if you know what I mean. If you're a kid listening to this show, I meant go down and get some flowers for your mom. And guys, I'm going to tell you, for your wife on Mother's Day, the one that brought you those kids, go down, get your best pair of chonies on, right? And then start vacuuming the floor, you fool. Let's move on to the next thing. Next event. Tobor, scroll the screen. Next to it, your buddy has got to go. Tobor, I'm doing the international fist pump sign. Don't you know what that means? Oh, God, you're an idiot. Okay, well, May 12th through 21st, Myrtle Beach Bike Week at the Grand Strand in South Carolina. Enjoy it. May 15th through the 19th is the Tennessee Motorcycles and Music Revival at Loretta Lynn's Ranch in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. And speaking of that rain that we just had a couple rounds ago, did you guys see it wasn't at Hurricane Mills, but man, motocross round, God, they were just like the Swamp Thing. All those guys, I felt so bad. I forget where it was, someplace with the D in the title, but okay, yes, I'm moving on, crazy robot. May 27th through 31st, Americade Touring Rally is happening in St. George Village, New York. I have some friends in New York. St. George is starting to look very nice right now. May 31st, Classic Track Day is happening out at the streets of Willow Springs International Race Day. This is going to be a one-day event, but this is going to be at the Willow Springs, which is recently purchased. I don't know if they repaved the streets, but go check it out. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff there, from suspension tuning to leathers. Alpine Stars will be there for leathers for new riders. And I think there's going to be a taste of the track and a bunch of other stuff. Go to BradyWalker.com for more information. June 6th through 8th is the Happy Valley Rally. It's an off-road sportster rally happening in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. Buddy Josh ought to check that out. June 7th through 8th is the 79th annual Greenhorn Ride from the Pasadena Motorcycle Club. It's 500 miles around random places in Southern California. I may go to that if we're not doing something crazy on June 7th and 8th, like baseball playoffs. Like I'm telling you, baseball's, becomes part of your life. You can't get away. It's like the mob. June 22nd through 29th is going to be the Scooter Cannonball. They're leaving Pendleton, Oregon, so be there when they do that. They're landing in South Padre Island, Texas. So somehow, when they float these damn scooters across some water onto some island, you better be there for that. And I'm going to look into South Padre Island. If there's a bridge going across it, I feel a whole lot less dumb about this. And then June 27th through 29th is Motoblot happening in Chicago, Illinois. It's 3 days and 4 nights of motorcycles and music and stuff like that. Robot, please get out of my face now that I said the news. Take that away. You guys are terrible. This is terrible. Yeah. I see what the guy was saying. Robots are a bad idea. AI is terrible. Not that you're AI. I know. I'm just saying robots are terrible. Let me see. Speaking of, let's move on to our next thing. Tobor, can you throw me up Stinger real quick?
I'm not in the mood.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tobor, well, have a good time. I'll see you at the park tomorrow, bad boy. Bye.
I'm not in the mood.
I was afraid he was never going to leave.
but a person needs new experiences.
We'll be right. I need a break. We'll be right back with some more creative writing. We need to take a quick break.
I'm not the mood.
Tobor, you and I, break room right now.
But a person needs new experiences. I'm not in the mood. But a person needs new experiences.
Hey, creative writers, RP Enterprises wants to remind you of their latest, greatest invention, the medicated adhesive graphic strip. This medicated bandage strip is emblazoned with bold graphics depicting infected, pus-oozing, disgusting wounds. Whether you have just a minor scratch, a hangnail, or a clean gash, make sure you customize it with the Mags bandage from RP Enterprises.
RP Enterprise is only available at fine retail stores near you. Looking for a high-quality leather that doesn't cost an arm and a leg? Well, not yours anyway. Try Kreiders, made in the USA from 100% renewable resources. We don't use fancy hide like kangaroo or elk, nor do we use other imported hides like jaguar or okapi. Those animals are scarce and protected. We extrapolate our hides from a unique source of marsupial. Not a wallaby though, if that's what you were thinking. Kreiders leathers are made from the United States' most renewable resource, the common opossum. The common opossum is so common, in fact, that thousands of hides go to waste each year on American roadways. We don't believe in letting these valuable garment farms end up in the city dump, especially with a looming leather shortage on the horizon. Kreiders is dedicated to rider safety, and a low overhead is our #1 priority. Visit Kreiders today and we'll fit you up in new skin. Possum skin. Kreiders, the cheapest leather you'll wear. Visit Kreiders now. We're located down by the stream behind the old recycling factory. Kreiders Leathers.
All right, everybody, we have to get out of the studio. Our time is up, so I'm going to run through. They're giving me 20 minutes max, so this will be perfect. That'll be an hour-long show. Hey, let me dab into what's looking creative this week. And what was looking creative this week was, I didn't even get to mention, I don't think, that a couple, the week before last was the SoCal Super Sunday. And we went down to the Steady Garage Kickback event, Friday Night Kickback. I got to see Wiggins' brand new KTM. So what's been looking creative to me? Well, there at that show, there was a little white Charlie with the basket on it. And that thing has been posted here and there and everywhere, all over Instagram. It's been pretty amazing. And it was the cutest bike ever. It was so cool. And it's one of the, when I deleted everything off my phone to free up some memory, it's one of the few pictures I kept. I really like that. And then the one show this week that just happened this weekend, lots of cool stuff from there too. So I can't wait to peruse and see what was there and check that out. And the stuff that shows up at the regular one show, not to bag on the one show Vegas. I liked it. It was its own vibe. But I feel like the some of the stuff that shows up at the regular one show is just a tad bit more interesting. Maybe it's because I had seen some of the stuff at AIM. So I won't discount that. But yeah, the one show looked like it had some pretty sick, like just way more ideas there. Not the same bike 52 times. And if there was, then they've just got a ton of bikes. So listen, Daytona Bike Week, man. I don't know when that happened. I think it was a couple weeks ago. But the fattest motherfuckers on the planet showed up for Daytona Bike Week. And in a twist of irony, the skinny people had the fattest bikes. There was lots and lots of video. I could tell me you're a dude taking video without telling me you're a dude by the amount of creepy shots following women as they rode or walked by, peppered in with shots of meat, just a bunch of meat being cooked. Tell me you're a dude filming that without telling me you're a dude filming that. It was just kind of creep fest. Yeah. So, Daytona Bike Week. If you're fat, that's for you. Bike updates. We already kind of ran through all the bike updates, what we've been doing on our highs. And So there's really no updates to anything except for the fucking carb is still stuck on this goddamn FC. We'll get to that. The slide is stuck, and it's because it's had 10 years of ethanol fuel mixed with the two-stroke oil, just soldering chemically together the slide to the body. So, yeah, we'll see. Also, I wanted to. We're not going to do the 10 years of torturing your ears. We're going to save that for next week because they literally are turning off the. They're shutting down the mainframes right now. This is like one of those hacker movies where the guy's got 5 seconds before they come in and like he's got to get the thumb drive out. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about a couple of things, bounce out of here. One of the things I want to talk about is what is it? Last week, Nakamoto asked us the question, where is it? We just want to know what it is. What is it so that we could tell you where it is. Okay, Noko, like that's the whole thing on Noko. There's some things that they touched on in that episode that were really cool, like the price of bikes going down. The bikes will go down. Will they go down a lot? We'll have to see. There's a lot of everybody playing. I used to do this too. I used to love the if it bleeds, it leads game. And right now, the motorcycle industry kind of looks like it's in a crappy territory, and I don't like that. The power sports industry in general, there's a lot of things going on with tariffs that's changing daily, if not weekly. And I just heard some more news today. I was just watching this huge seminar that somebody recorded, an hour long. It's probably going to be invalid tomorrow. But I've seen no less than 3 seminars on the state of the industry. I don't call them seminar, symposium, whatever you want to call them. The state of the industry and things that are affecting the economy already. And that was before, last year we did this, and that was before this president was elected and enacted tariffs. So people were already kind of worried about stuff then. So the motorcycle industry, man, let's participate in it. And I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know what it's going to look like. And we've been through like 20 years actually. After 2001, I think they saved some airlines and Ford way back then. We may be a quarter of a century into saving companies that maybe should have failed. I have no idea, and it'd be sucky if they finally did. After something that is something that's an icon finally goes down, but we've been there. It's happened before, so we'll just have to see what happens. But if you are into the motorcycles and you love a certain brand of motorcycles, we're gonna have to see what the future brings. You can't keep charging $85 billion for things and having pretty soon a motorcycle cost $80,000 like a car does. Well, guess what? Hey y'all, this is Junkie from the future, and it turns out you can. The new Harley Davidson Grey Ghost, or the 35th anniversary Fat Boy, came out, and it starts at $25,000. Come on, Harley Davidson. I thought you were going to make a sub $10,000 vehicle for all of us to enjoy. Not what they're calling the Grey Ghost, or whatever the hell this thing is. Some people have called it the Grey Ghost. On your thing, it just says the Fat Boy Grey Ghost. So I guess it is officially called the Grey Ghost. Well, so much for a cheap, affordable Harley Davidson. And that's why I'm watching trends like the Slate. I am really stoked on the Slate. I hope the Slate I know comes with no audio system, and I believe they said crank windows. So finally, that when somebody pulls up to you and you make the little crank motion to roll down your window, that's going to make sense again. I don't think cars have been made with crank windows since the late 90s. Even crappy cars in the early 2000s came with power windows on base models. And so that's something we're going to be talking about as we reflect on the last 10 years of motorcycles on our next episode, and the last 10 years of creative writing, things that we've seen come and go. How can that help us predict the next 10 years of motorcycling and the next 10 years of our show? Will we still be covering motorcycles? Will we be covering micromobility? What will we be covering? We'll be covering hover bikes. Who knows? But we're going to get into that. We'll worry about the next show. Motorcycles and Misfits. I did want to shout out to them. They went to the one show, which seemed like it was just as much of a vendor show as it was anything else. All right, I'm getting the rap signal. We're doing it. The lash at the back of bikes. I heard one of them. I think it was Bagel said that the belts that they were on very smooth. Yes, there's an argument for belts and there's arguments for chains, and I just wanted to say whether you're for one or the other. The lash that he was talking about is BS. And they already shut off the soundboard, so we don't have any more sound. So there will be no sound effects from Tobor right now. But why is that not true? Because the chains jerk and the belts don't. But I'm going to tell you that at the rear of every single sprocket or pulley, as if you have a belt, it's technically called a pulley. Inside there where it mounts to the wheel and where the interface is, there are some rubber drive dampers. So there's no way that chains pull and jerk the sprocket, and jerk your wheel, and belts don't. It is honestly, there's rubber drive dampers, and unless those are worn out, your wheel shouldn't have any like lash or slack or anything like that. So that's a bullshit. Sorry, guys. Weird news and updates. Got about 5 minutes to go, you say? What are we at? Yep. Okay. We got 3. Okay, cool. Weird news and updates. Also from Oregon, since we are, we'll navigate from the one show to this Oregon news. There's been stuff circulating around the internet about a guy in Oregon who was ran over a motorcyclist guy. What I saw from the video was the motorcycle pointing at the guy and yelling. And I'm gonna say this. I've told grown men this. I've told boys this. Whatever you do, whatever you want to blame, you're responsible for you. You know what I'm saying? If someone cuts you off in traffic, is it your duty to go yell at them? No. Did this driver do something to the motorcyclist first? I have no idea. But all I saw in the video was the motorcyclist riding next to the car, pointing the finger at him, yelling at him, and then the car swerves into him and knocks him off. And the guy survived, but I think he's in some serious injuries. Guess what, bro? Had you not been riding up next close to the guy, yelling, giving him your 2 cents, you wouldn't have got crushed. We already know that motorcycles will never win against cars, even when we're not provoking them, even when it is a total accident. So the fact that you go up and ride up next to somebody, guess what I think is going to happen? Take responsibility. Don't do that stupid shit. And you won't be getting ran off your motorcycle, and you won't be making the news because it never would have happened in the first place. Now your bike's ruined. Now potentially your body's ruined. This may be an unpopular opinion. Yeah, cagers shouldn't be ramming into motorcycles. Yeah. And nobody should be starting anything, right? So road rage shouldn't be a thing. But don't be the one on the motorcycle that gets in a road rage incident, is what I'm saying. So man fucks around and finds out should have been the headline for there. If you're on a motorcycle, you have no more entitlement to any other part of the road than a car. And if they, quote, do you wrong, or you're in an MC, or you have a small PP, no one's required to ride behind you or follow your rules or even respect you on the road any more than you would respect them. So yeah, this guy fucked around and found out. Florida man falls asleep next to a pond, gets arm ripped off by alligator. That is true. I saw this, saw the video actually on Reddit. Dude falls asleep next to a freaking pond, beer bottle and everything is there, and he wakes up with no arm. He was so... don't fall asleep next to water in Florida, period. If the fucking invasive anacondas and pythons don't get you, alligator will. So there you go. And then sadly, 2 deaths happened at the Bennett Supersport race. This happened at Oulton Park, and it was part of the opening rounds of the Bennett's 2025 British Superbike Championship Series, the BSBK. It was the Supersport class, like I said, 11 bike piled up. It caused the deaths of Owen Jenner and Shane Richardson, 2 20-year-olds, in their 20s. And according to former racer Michael Laverty, the area where the incident took place was not particularly dangerous. They actually had a site map, and it was just a gentle, I think, a right-hander. Unfortunately, since it's a gentle curve, the racers are just hitting 90 to 100 there as they're accelerating out. And these two riders fell down like in the 10th position. And when the field is 30 to 32 riders, that means that the chances of additional riders being involved was almost guaranteed, with 20 to 22 more guys coming up on this. And so 11 people piled up. There was not just these two guys, but some other serious injuries. I want to talk about this on the next show. We don't have time to do it now. Obviously, we're wrapping up and getting out of here. But I do want to talk about it because in the next 10 years, what we've seen happening in the last 10 years is we've seen a lot of motorcycle road racing, especially even overseas, where we think, oh, they don't have rules like we do here in the States or a lot of other places that won't let you do it. No, insurance is getting insane. We've seen tracks get closed down for insurance. Actually, Lake Elsinore had an incident, and the Lake Elsinore motocross track is closed here in SoCal. That's a very historic track with a very historic town, and a Steve McQueen and Malcolm Smith behind it. And that still got closed down because of an incident there. So I just want to bring that up in our next one of the shows that's going to be coming up for this year is the changing state of motorcycle racing, and basically because of insurance. What else we got in the news that we can wrap up in here in a couple minutes? Oh, Livewire loses $20 million in Q1. Harley Davidson's electric spinoff has only sold 33 motorcycles in the first quarter, according to an article I read on Jalopnik. Their goal a couple of years ago was, when they spun out, was 100,000 bikes by 2026. Unfortunately, we know what happened. The Livewire, the Pan Am, the Bronx, and the Custom, 1200 Custom, all got hit by COVID, right? They were all coming out during the very trying time in Harley's financial period as it was. They were firing Matt Levitich, and Jochen Zeitz came in, and they had to redo some financial stuff. And so already it was a trying time in their history and in their business plan. And so some of this stuff got started right then. Electric motorcycles really haven't taken off like we thought they would. Are they going to? I highly doubt it until you only start making electric motorcycles. Electric cars. I see a bajillion of them living here in LA. How much does it make up of the total national population? Probably a very small percent. So Harley Davidson is only on track, I believe, to sell about 150 or 160,000 motorcycles this year if the economy stays on track and their sales continue at the current rate and don't drop, at all, like during the fall months or during summer. If people that's if everything stays exactly the same as Q1. So for Livewire, just expect that they would have been, even half of what Harley. I would have said like 50,000 motorcycles would have been phenomenal, because I don't even think there's been 50,000 electric motorcycles sold every year. So, but yeah, they were down. I believe it was like 600 grand. And I forget, there was a bunch of figures in that article. Abysmal is all I need to say. I don't need to give you any financial numbers. Abysmal is what it was. And then I wanted to leave you with this. Do we have time? We're getting the head shake that we do have a little bit of time. We have like 5 minutes max. So we'll do this. Three? Okay, we'll try to do this in 3. I was looking through Kawasaki data the other day and just enjoying the hell out of it. And I thought, in light of the email that we got that said we used to give useful information and stuff like that, I thought I'd clue you guys into a little secret. Kawasaki, I was reading the owner's manual for the W230. It's a little bike. It's $5,000 or something like that. It's close to $5,000. It's as much as the Royal Enfield Bear is, I think, and a couple other bikes that are $5,000. It's for a little 250 that's a little heavy street bike. Actually, it's a 230. It's a W230. $5,000 is a little much. And that's another topic I want to cover in the upcoming episode. 10 years, where have motorcycle prices gone, and what do you actually get for that stuff? But I did want to clue you in on a couple things. The Kawasaki, even in their W230, just reading through it, I just wanted you guys to know, Old Junk has said this before. Don't wash your bike with a pressure washer at one of those places that has like the pressure washer and the soap. What's going to do? It's going to get water inside all the grease and oil and electrical stuff that you don't want water getting into. You're going to have rusty bearings. You're going to have squeaky suspension bushings, stuff like that. Anything that's, even wheel bearings and the O-rings and chains and stuff and the X-rings and chains, you can work out the oils and greases in that stuff and get them wet. And then, of course, your electric stuff, you can get that wet. And you don't want to do that. It's a terrible idea. Also and it tells you that right in the owner manual. Also in the owner manual, it says if you're going to leave your bike for more than a few months, I think it says there's an actual time right here. What does it say? If you're going to leave your bike around for, I think it says more than 3 months, you need to put some fuel stabilizer in it. Never use anything with more than 10% ethanol in it. And then here's the craziest thing. One of the craziest things underneath the seat of that thing, there's a helmet holder, which I thought was pretty cool. But when I got toward the back, I was trying to figure out, the reason I was even looking in there is I was trying to figure out what the hell some of these electrical components were. And do you know that your Kawasaki has a vehicle data recorder? And in the manual, it tells you that the ECU does not record conversations or images, but the ECU stores certain data to assist with problems and diagnostics, which every ECU kind of does. And it checks the electrical performance and fuel ignition. Why did I say fuel ignition? Fuel. The FI, the fuel injection. God, I'm so retarded. The fuel injection, and all the engine electrics. Of course, that's what the ECU does, but it tracks stuff on there. And then there's an event data recorder, and it says, in common with many other. This is directly from the Kawasaki owner's manual on page 141. In common with many other vehicle manufacturers, Kawasaki has equipped this motorcycle with an event data recorder, and the purpose of this device is to record data that assists with understanding how some of the bike's systems were performing during a short period of time immediately before and during an accident or similar event involving minor damage. So, yeah, that's really crazy that I did not even think that they would put those sort of things on a $5,000 230cc vehicle. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that tells you after you've crashed during normal riding, it tells you all about the data that's saved on the EDR. And I guess with all the privacy laws nowadays and the right to repair stuff, they have to kind of tell you what's on your vehicle and what's doing this, and they kind of have to tell you, hey, yeah, the ECU doesn't record images or conversations, just so you know. But yeah, if you check on the W230s for $5,000, you get ABS, you get a helmet holder, you get a toolkit. Like, there's a bunch of cool stuff that you get that comes with this thing, and it's all found right there in the owner's manual. And I just wanted to say, whatever bike you have, the call to action this week is go read RTFM. Go read your freaking manual. Kawasaki manuals and Yamaha manuals, and I think even Honda manuals are available online for free on the websites if you go check it out. So go do it. But yeah, go learn a thing or two. It tells you even how to like take off from a stop and start your first riding, all the way to stuff like, that there's an event data recorder. So that's that. Sorry we had to cut out. Yep, I know. They're closing. They're not even just giving the wrap sign. They're closing lights and stuff off now. So we got to get out of here. Sorry for the abbreviated newses. Sorry for the abbreviated stories. And we'll get to everything that we forgot in the next show. If I accidentally said the word of the week this week, which was railroad, let me know, and we'll send you something from the box of junk. Also, the call to action, don't just read your manual, leave us some reviews. We want to hear what your favorite bikes of the past decade have been. We reached out on Facebook to ask. Why don't you list some of them there? Best bikes of the past 10 years. I'm going to give you our opinion. We're going to give you the internet's opinion. Then we're going to give you the motorcycle of the year opinion. And then I want your opinion. And so, yeah, leave us some comment on Facebook or email us, whatever you want to do. Show contact info is all in the show notes. You can find us out on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, whatever Stitcher became. I think they became iHeart or something like that. I think we're still over there. And then we're on all these little tiny ones that these places propagate out to. Contact Tobor. His email is in our show notes. Check out our blog and check out our Discord. And if you want to have fun, go check out Nokomoto's Discord because we're in there more than we're in our own. And then, as always, peace, grease, and we'll see you next week. Funky Fleece and Beefcake Beast. All right, Jesus. This is worse than like your stupid robot friend was saying. And I'm glad that freak is gone, Tobor. All right, guys. Catch you next week. Bye.
Don't touch that knob, human, unless you want to be vaporized.